If you've been into AI updates lately, you've probably came across Moonshot's new AI model, KIMI K3. Within a couple days of launching it, so many people signed up that their GPUs hit complete capacity. They literally had to pause new subscriptions so that the current users could continue using it. Whenever a new drop like this happens, headlines get flooded with technical words like parameters, open weights, mixture of experts, and more. If you see the headlines and think, cool, but what does this even mean? You've landed in the right place because in this video, we're going to break down the technical terms so that you can actually understand KIMI K3 and other future AI models. First, let's address the big number everyone is talking about: 2.8 trillion parameters. What's a parameter? Think of it like learning to shoot free throws in basketball. The first time you shoot, you miss. So next time your brain tweaks your elbow angle, your release point, and your wrist. Parameters are just those millions of micro adjustments the AI makes whenever it gets something wrong during training. These represent the memory and learned patterns of the model. When people say that KIMI K3 has 2.8 trillion parameters, it means that it has 2.8 trillion fine-tuned settings, which dictate how it understands words, code, and images. Generally, more parameters means that the AI can store more complex knowledge. But there's a catch. If you had to trigger all 2.8 trillion parameters every time you asked a simple question, it would require a whole lot of computing power and take forever to reply. So, how does KIMI K3 run efficiently? The answer is MOE, or mixture of experts. Imagine you walk into a hospital which has about 900 specialized doctors. You have neurologists, cardiologists, and so on. Now you have a broken arm, but you don't need 900 doctors in the room examining you at once. You only need the orthopedic specialist. And that's exactly how mixture of experts work. When you send a prompt, only about 16 relevant experts out of the total 900 work together to give you your answer. This brings us to active versus total parameters. Total parameters refer to the full knowledge base, which in case of KIMI K3 is about 2.8 trillion, while active parameters are the ones that activate when you send a prompt, which is about 30 billion. Because it only activates a tiny fraction for any given prompt, it runs fast enough to answer you in seconds while still having access to the full knowledge base. Another reason everyone went wild over KIMI K3 is that Moonshot released it as an open weight model. But what is an open weight model? If a model is closed or proprietary like Claude or ChatGPT, it lives behind a digital wall. You can talk to it through API or website, but you never get to see its actual brain. When a company releases open weights, they give you that trained mathematical memory. And this is huge for researchers and developers because once you have the open weights, you can customize it for your own project and run it locally. So to recap what happened, Moonshot AI built a 2.8 trillion parameter model, used MOE so it runs efficiently, and released the open weights. I hope this gave you a clearer picture of what these headlines actually mean. If you found this breakdown helpful and you're into tech and AI, definitely hit subscribe and let me know what should I talk about next. See you in the next one.